The most expensive kitchen mistake that you can make, it's not cheap cabinets or bad appliances. It's spending $50,000 on a kitchen that looks dated in less than 5 years. Welcome back to Built by Becker, and I'm Blake. If you're new here, this channel is all about helping you make smarter decisions when it comes to your home. Whether you're planning a full renovation or just starting to think about it. Or maybe you've been staring at your kitchen cabinets for 6 months trying to figure out what's been bothering you. Either way, you're in the right place. Last year, we did a video about timeless kitchen design, and a lot of you responded to it. So today, we're gonna go a layer deeper. We're gonna look at 2025 trends that are, well, starting to fade. And yes, some of these are still being installed right now. Now, 2025 wasn't that long ago, but I'm gonna walk you through a little design capsule. The core set of materials and choices that hold up regardless of what's trending on social media this week. And we're gonna spend some real time on countertops because the quartz versus marble debate is one that I've had at least twice a week with clients, and it deserves an honest, practical answer. But before we dive in, if you're working on a kitchen project right now, or you are in the planning phase and want some guidance on what actually works, head to builtbybeckermedia.com. That's where we have all the resources, design guides, and you can get in touch with us directly. The link's in my description. If this is the kind of content that's useful to you, hit that subscribe button. It really does help and helps us keep making all the new content. I want to be careful here because there's a difference between a trend that's evolving and a trend that's done. Some things that were popular a few years ago are finding their footing. They're being refined into something more lasting. Others are just cooked. So let's go through the ones you should be cautious about if you're making decisions right now. The all-white kitchen. I know, I've been saying this one for a while, but it's still happening and it keeps ending up on the renovation regrets list. So it's worth repeating. White kitchens aren't gone. White is still a great neutral, but the all-white, everything matches, not a shadow anywhere kitchen is basically done at this point. Homeowners are coming to me and saying the same thing. It feels like a hospital. What's replacing it isn't bold or dramatic. It's warmer. It's soft creams, putty warm taupes, gentle earth tones. You're not swapping white for avocado green. You're adding warmth to white, and that's a big difference. Ultra minimalistic flat panel cabinets, the completely handleless, completely flat, completely featureless cabinet. Well, it was having a moment, and it made sense. Clean lines, modern European feel, very sleek in photos. But what designers are seeing is that homeowners get fatigued by it. There's nothing to hold on to it visually. And in a busy family kitchen, there's nothing to hold on to it physically either. The pivot is towards a more traditional modern. And I'll get to that in a minute because it's actually the most interesting shift happening in kitchen design right now. Oversized statement pendant lights. If you've been on Pinterest in the last 3 years, you've seen these. These massive, dramatic pendants hanging over an island like a chandelier. They had their moment. But designers are now saying they dominate the room in a way that actually distracts from the architecture and the materials, which is the stuff that lasts. Smaller, more condensed fixtures are taking over. Layered lighting, task, ambient accent is much smarter and long-term play, if you ask me. Open shelving as the primary storage solution. We've talked about this in many videos, but it keeps coming up because people keep doing it. A few open shelves? Great. Replacing all your upper cabinets with open shelving because it looked amazing on a Pinterest board? Not sure that's gonna last more than 6 months. You have a dusting problem and a reorganizing problem and a psychological weight of everything visible all the time problem. The trend is shifting to closed cabinetry, some glass front cabinets, as a middle ground if you want the airy look without the chaos. And let's talk about modern farmhouse. Shiplap, barn doors, apron sinks, distressed wood everywhere. Designers are, well, it's got played out. It's exhausted. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. What's interesting is that people aren't abandoning the warmth and the character of that farmhouse. They're just finding better vehicles to do these things, which brings me to what's actually working. Modern is winning, and here's why. The design shift I'm most excited about right now is one I think is gonna have some serious staying power. Designers are calling it the traditional modern, soft modernism, or transitional. Different names, same idea. It's essentially this. You take warmth, the detail, and the character character of traditional design and you pair it with clean lines and the restraint of modern design. And the result is something that doesn't look like it was installed yesterday, but it also doesn't look like it was installed in 1987. People are asking how to make a kitchen feel like it's always been there, like it evolved over the past 100 years instead of just being dropped in from a showroom floor. And that's exactly what traditional modern does. In practical terms, it looks like shaker cabinets, still, always, but with slighter, slimmer profiles and more refined proportions. Warm wood tones, not honey oak, not bleached white oak, but genuine mid-tones like walnut or white oak with a warm stain. Hardware and brushed brass or unlacquered brass that develops a little patina over time. Countertops with subtle natural character. Layered textures, tile that has a slight variation, wood that has visible grain, stone that has a little movement in it. Compare that to the ultra minimalistic, completely flat cabinets, absolutely uniform surfaces, handle-free everything, countertops that match the backsplash that matches the walls. It looks extraordinary in a photo shoot, and in real life, it gives people nowhere to land visually. And it has no tolerance for the natural imperfections of daily life. Traditional modern is winning because it's honest. It looks like a kitchen that people cook in, and it still photographs well. Enough to be in my own kitchen. That balance is hard to get, right? Which is exactly why it lasts. Early on in my business, I thought I had it all figured out. I was bringing in money, jobs were coming in, things looked good. And then tax season hit, and I realized I've basically been playing financial Jenga for 2 years. And that's the thing that no one tells you when you start a business. Making money and managing money, well, that's two different skills. That's where Relay came in for me. Relay is a business banking platform, and it's what I actually use it for. Keeping my money from becoming a mystery. It's like job costing for my entire business. My bookkeeper has a login, my assistant has a login, and I have full visibility into everything. And come tax season, it connects straight to QuickBooks. If you're a small business owner and you feel like your finances are a renovation without a plan, use the link in my description and sign up for Relay. Scan the QR code or just click the link right there in my description. And if you want your finances on top, choose Relay. It's built by Becker, approved. The design capsule. The concept I want you to take away from this video is that before you pick a single trend item, before you look at colors, hardware, tile patterns, any of that, you need to establish your design capsule. These are the decisions that are essentially permanent in your kitchen renovation. Get these right, and the rest of the choices take care of themselves. Get these wrong, and you're working against yourself for the next decade. So the capsule has 4 elements: cabinet profile and tone, shaker or a refined variant of that, color in the warmth, neutral family, soft white, warm gray, sage, navy if you want to go a little bold, nothing that's currently at its peak trend moment. If it's everywhere on social media right now, it's probably already starting to fade. Countertop material, we're getting deep into this in the next section, so I'll leave it there for now. Flooring, natural stone, ceramic tile in a mid-tone or neutral. This is a permanent decision that is in most renovations, so treat it like one. I see people go light gray wood look tile, and then they regret it in 2 years when the rest of the kitchen evolves around a warmer palette. Lighting architecture, not just fixtures that you can swap. I mean the placement of your recessed cans, your under cabinet runs, and whether you plan for pendants or wall sconces. That infrastructure is in the ceiling and walls. It needs to be thought out before you drywall. Everything else, hardware, backsplash, paint color, even pendant style, those are all relatively affordable to update. The capsule is where you don't change. You set it once and you set it right. Here we go. Quartz versus marble. Okay, let's settle this one. Marble looks incredible. Quartz is practical. Which one do you choose? And my answer is that you have to be honest about what kind of person you are actually in the kitchen. Not the version of yourself you imagine on a good day. Marble is a metaphoric rock. It has been used in beautiful buildings for thousands of years. The natural veining on the slab of a genuine Carrara or a Calcutta marble cannot be replicated. Every piece is unique. It's genuinely beautiful. It is also soft, which is not what you want on a surface that sees knives, cast iron, acidic liquids, and daily abuse. It's porous, which means it absorbs liquids. Red wine, lemon juice, tomato sauce, olive oil, and those are stains that can be permanent if you don't catch them immediately. It etches, meaning acidic substances don't stain it. They chemically react to the calcite in the stone and dull the finish in a way that's very visible. And you need to reseal it around every 6 to 12 months to maintain any protection. The long-term cost of marble is genuinely higher than most people account for. Quartz is engineered about 90% natural natural quartz crystal bound with resin. It shrugs off scratches that would mark marble in an instant. It's non-porous, so nothing absorbs into it. No sealing required. Soap and water keep it clean. The trade-off is heat sensitivity. Unlike marble, which actually handles heat reasonably well, the resin in quartz can discolor if you put a hot pan directly on the surface. And yeah, modern quartz can mimic marble's appearance almost perfectly. Calcutta quartz, Carrara quartz, these products give you the white stone with the subtle gray veining look, the visual that people love about marble without any of the maintenance burden. So my honest answer is this: if you're someone who genuinely takes care of surfaces, loves the irreplaceable natural character of real stone, whether it's marble, quartzite, or granite, has no kids, pets, or you're willing to commit to the maintenance routine, marble can be that choice. And it is a stunning choice. There are some various options you can use with quartzite and granite that don't have as much maintenance. But if you're in a real family, a real kitchen, where real cooking happens, and you want a surface that will look good in 10 years, as it does right now, without a second thought, quartz is the right call. Granite would be my second option, and quartzite depending on your lifestyle. My final, of course, would be marble. Absolutely beautiful, but it does require a lot of work. I always say this: trends are not the enemy. The enemy is making permanent decisions based on temporary enthusiasm. The permanent elements are quiet and durable, and the personal elements are where the character lives. That's what a design capsule gives you: a foundation that never dates, a room to make it your own. If this helped you, leave a comment. Tell me where you are in the process. I read all the comments and I try to comment to everybody. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming. I'm Blake, and thanks for watching Built by Becker.